Hi, in this session I'll be covering the basics of how to navigate around Twitter running on a browser on a desktop or a laptop computer. I'm running this on my desktop computer and I'm running it in the Google Chrome browser, but obviously there are other browsers available, and Twitter will work pretty much the same in most other browsers. In a separate session I'll cover the navigation of Twitter on a smartphone app. Bear in mind that most people viewing your Twitter account will probably be doing so on a smartphone app. And it may be that much of your Twitter use is on a smartphone app. Most Twitter features are available both on the smartphone app and also in the browser-based version. And this course will use a mix of the two. Okay, so let's make a start. So I put in the username and the password, and then I log into Twitter. For this course I'm using a Twitter account that I've specifically set up for training purposes, and it's the account called Training Tips. That's training_tips. You're welcome to look it up on Twitter, but there isn't that much point following it. I only use it for training purposes, such as when I'm recording courses, such as this one, or when I'm giving live training courses, either online or in person. When you log into Twitter, the first place you're taken to is your timeline. That's what you're looking at right now. You're looking at the timeline for the Training Tips account. It's a pretty cluttered screen. There's a lot going on. If you're looking at your timeline on a mobile, there's a lot less information being presented to you because there's a lot less screen space. During this course, I'll take you through many of the different elements of Twitter. However, for this session, I'm going to focus purely on the screen we're looking at right now, your home timeline. Your home timeline on a browser is broken up into three main sections. The section here on the left-hand side is mainly a menu, taking you to different places within Twitter such as Home, Explore, Notifications, and so on. There's also a big blue tweet button which you can press in order to start writing a tweet. Just click on that and the tweet box opens up. However, I don't want to write a tweet right now, so I'll just click X to close that. Right down at the bottom of the screen, there is the option to log into a different Twitter account. If I come down to here where it says Training Tips and click, it says, do I want to add an existing account? That is to say, do I want to log into another Twitter account? Because you can manage more than one Twitter account from within the same browser. Or do I want to log out of Training Tips? Well, in this case, I don't want to do either of those things, so I shall just click out of the box and that disappears. In the middle of the timeline screen are the tweets. And this, of course, is what Twitter is all about. The tweets, the messages from people that you've chosen to follow, the tweets and messages that Twitter has decided to show you. Because not everything you see in your timeline will be from people that you follow. There are various different reasons why tweets can appear in your timeline, and I'll be talking about those different reasons as we go through the course, and you'll see different examples. As you can see from the example on the screen right now, one tweet can actually take up most of the screen space. So this particular tweet, there is a yellow graphic with a lot of text on it, and that takes up pretty much all the space on the visible timeline. And if I want to see more tweets, then I can scroll down. This next tweet down is actually marked as promoted, which means it's an advert. This is a paid advert. It's on my timeline because someone's paid for it to be there. And if I scroll further down, I can see other tweets. If I come up to the top here, it says show 58 tweets. It's telling me that 58 more tweets have been added to my timeline since I logged in or since I refreshed this timeline. So if I click on show 58 tweets, let's do that, click. And it's now showing me a new batch of tweets. And the previous tweets that I was looking at are now way down the page. I can find them again by scrolling if I really want to. Then I'll come over here to the right hand side of the page. This is where there are a number of additional options. Right at the top there is the search Twitter box. So if I want to search for something on Twitter, then I can type it into this box here. I'll be covering search in a separate session. Then below that there's the What's Happening box. The What's Happening box contains news and updates and trends. What are trends? Well, trends are where a particular subject is particularly popular on Twitter right now. Twitter decides what's trending or not. So for example here, it's telling me that trending in the United Kingdom right now is Timothy Dalton. Who is Timothy Dalton? Well, Timothy Dalton is an actor. I've no idea why he's trending right now. Let's just click on the More button. The More button doesn't tell me more about this particular story. It's giving me the option to say, I'm not interested in this, or I can mark it as being harmful or spam. You don't have this More button on every piece of information. So some stories that are displayed in the What's Happening box, as far as I'm aware, there is no way of choosing whether you see them or not. They're going to be presented to you. If I wanted to see why Timothy Dalton was trending right now, then I could click on that and it would take me through to search and it would show me the story relating to Timothy Dalton. Let's do that. And there we are. I've clicked on there and it's taken me into Twitter search. As I said, I'll cover Twitter search in a separate session, but all that's happened here is it's taken me through to the search screen. It's performed the search on Timothy Dalton, and I can see from the tweets that he's 76 years old today. So there we are. Happy birthday, Timothy Dalton. Because this information can be distracting or is simply irrelevant to this course, I will often keep this box blurred. If I want to come out of search, I just go up to the top and I click on this little arrow here where it says back, and it takes me back to my timeline, and it's telling me now that there are 3 new tweets that have come in. I'll just scroll up to the top here. So I have the search box, I have the What's Happening box, and then below that I have the Who to Follow box. And this is where Twitter is suggesting to me other people that I may want to follow on Twitter.